Oh, you're asking me what I think overall of the DLC? All right, Phantom. All right, hold on. I'll tell y'all. Tell y'all what I think of the DLC. I think, in the current climate of video game DLCs in quotes, that this is amazing. It's the term expansion pack used to be used for what this is. It's like an addition to the game. It feels like more of the game. It could almost be its own standalone game. It's really there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of good boss fights, amazing, just amazing. It just looks good. There's so much going on. It's great. It's not just like a, it's not like a pack of skins or whatever. And I overall I loved it. The only things that I did not like, they're very few. I feel like exploration was rewarded more in the base game. In the base game, I felt like I could go up any plateau, explore any part of the game, and I would be rewarded with something, like either a weapon or like a spell or like a cookbook with a bunch of recipes, something like that, In this, there are many times when I go up a plateau and there's nothing there, It's just, there's some like crafting materials like on the ground that aren't even that great. And I'm like, oh, that's it? Like I was expecting an item or something, And that happened more often than I thought. I mean, other than that, I think that's pretty much it. I think that's like the one big criticism is I wish exploration was rewarded more. The DLC looks great, but I feel like it felt emptier than the base game is what I'd say. It felt emptier than the base game. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I don't even hate the fact that they reused Radahn for the last fight, because I love Radahn. Radahn is like one of my favorite boss fights in the base game, so seeing Radahn again, well, it was spoiled for me, but seeing Radahn again, I was like, oh, hell yeah. The theme, I love the theme. So some people were kind of like, they're reusing too much. And I can see that maybe in some of the enemies. You run into a lot of similar enemies, but I don't know. I didn't mind it as much, I think. And I don't mind the last boss at all. I really like the last boss. I don't think that the mixed reception is warranted. I don't. I think it's overall great. I give it like a 90, it's an A for me, 90%. Oh, thank you, Rajira. Yeah, that's just true, man. Like, people love to complain. That's the thing. So much content out there is complaining. And it's like, it's so funny because you'll look back, after some time goes by, they'll look back and the things that they complained about were usually not as big a deal. And again, my biggest criticism is just that the world is a little empty, but it's not so bad. I loved it. I love the lore revelations. I love the boss fights. All the boss fights are awesome. Even the ones I got salty on. I'm just like, so satisfying. Extra challenge, Yeah, again, exactly. Too hard? Like, come on, bro. Too hard. It's the idea that people, like, they have an idea in their heads. Some of them more flexible than others, but some people just have this idea they've created of what the DLC should be and what boss fights should be. And it's like, dude, let FromSoft throw like a curveball at you every now and then. You gotta be kept on your toes. Don't resist change. They're so resistant to change. It's, Oh, you know what? If I were to give one other criticism of the DLC, one other criticism is that the Furnace Golems have a little too much health. Like, after you fight the first one, it's kind of straightforward. When you have to fight them normally, when you're swinging at their feet and stuff like that, it takes a little longer than I'd like. I feel like once you knock them down once, I guess, you have to figure out that you toss the, whatever, these things, the fire pots into them, the furnace visage fire pots or whatever. But even still, I was like, they have too much health. And a couple of the bone dragons have too much health too. They reuse the bone dragons a good bit. And they should have like halved their health. They just take so long. Those fights could be a slog, but other than that, I really loved the DLC. Those are the only two kind of like boring parts to me.